Oh, yeah, right. The instrumentalist approach has been applied by scholars of Latin America like Henrik Cardoso, A.G. Frank. Scholars of Latin America like Henrik Cardoso and A.G. Frank, scholars of Africa like Emmanuel Arghiri. Next, Samir Amin. Okay, right. They have applied the instrumentalist approach in case of, they have applied the theories of development and underdevelopment to study the nature of a state in Africa and Latin America. Nature of a state in Africa and Latin America, right? According to them, these states are independent, just for namesake, and there is so much corruption here, right? The leaders are the clients of MNCs of Western countries. This you can even include countries in Middle East like Saudi Arabia. The king of Saudi Arabia is like the client of MNCs of US. So they are independent only for the name sake. Fine. Right. These scholars divide the countries into two types. These scholars divide the states into two types. First is the core states and peripheral states. Core states, you can say G7 countries. Peripheral states, G77 or developing countries, you can include China. Also means the states here are just peripheral and they are like the clients or the instruments of the states in metropolitan countries or core countries, and these states are themselves the instruments of the bourgeois class. Fine, right? According to them, the states in developing countries are like the instruments of the states in core countries, right? The states in core countries are the instruments of the capitalist class in core countries. Means American state will be a core state, Saudi Arabia will be a peripheral state. So American state, the Saudi Arabian king will be the instrument of state of US, and state of US is an instrument of the capitalist class in US. So in short, the state in developing countries are the instruments of, right, the states in developing countries are the instruments of the capitalist class sitting in bourgeois या sitting in core countries. ठीक है, तो ये स्टेट्स वो काम करती हैं जो कोर कंट्रीज के बोर्जुआ चाहते हैं. तो ये स्टेट्स अपने लोगों के बेहतरी के लिए काम नहीं करती, बल्कि जो MNCs हैं या जो वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज के बोर्जुआ क्लास हैं उनका फायदा पहुंचाने का काम करती हैं. दिस इज व्हाट दिस थियरी टेल्स. ओके, नाउ वी विल सी द स्ट्रक्चरलिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव. This is instrumentalist perspective. Let us see. Structuralist perspective. A structuralist perspective is given by Hamza Alvi. He is a Pakistani Marxist scholar who has analyzed the nature of a state in Pakistan, which is nature of a state in Pakistan equally applicable for the study of other states in South Asia, for example, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India. So, structuralist perspective given by Pakistani thinker Hamza Alvi, an analysis of a state in Pakistan, but also applicable for Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India. Fine. Now, this structuralist perspective, or is also known as overdeveloped state. Here you can write that Hamza Alvi gave the concept of overdeveloped state. So sometimes in exam only the concept of overdeveloped state is formed. So I'll dictate, you first write it down, and where needed I will explain. So point number 1, according to Hamza Alvi, the nature of the state in post-colonial societies is not the exact replica of the states in the Western world. Right? According to Hamza Alvi, the nature of the state in post-colonial societies is not the exact replica of the states in the Western world. ठीक है? Second point, in Western world, states are the instruments of the capitalist class. In Western world, the states are the instruments of their capitalist class. Right, next, third point. In post-colonial societies, the states are not the instruments of their capitalist class. States are not the instruments of their capitalist class. Fine. Right, why? Right, why there is a difference in the state in the Western world and the post-colonial world. Why there is a difference? Okay, while there is a difference in the state in the colonial world or post-colonial world and the Western. Okay, right, next paragraph. Hamza Alvi has applied the approach of 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte. I told you about this book. Applied the Marxist approach of 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte. Right, Hamza Alvi applied the approach of 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte. Right, according to this book, there are certain historical conditions. There are certain historical conditions in which a state does not act, yet does not exist as an instrument of a property of a particular class. Under certain historical conditions, a state does not exist as an instrument of a particular caste. Right? On the other hand, a state gains relative autonomy. A state gains relative autonomy. Right? Marx also gave the concept of Bonapartism. Marx also gave the concept of Bonapartism. Right? Bonapartism denotes strong executive. Bonapartism denotes a strong executive. Right? Slides are getting application in case of post-colonial societies. Application in case of post-colonial societies. Right? According to Hamza Alvi, the nature of the state in post-colonial societies is not the exact replica of the West because of the specific historical conditions. Because of the specific historical conditions. ठीक है? Now, what is specific historical conditions? Right? The specific historical conditions are the conditions of colonialism. The conditions of colonialism. Fine. Write it down. Right. Unlike West, where the modern state is the natural growth. Unlike West, where the modern state is a natural growth. In post-colonial societies, modern state is a imported institution. Imported institution. So unlike the West, where modern state, unlike West, where modern A state is a natural institution or a natural growth. A state in post-colonial societies is imported, right? It is imported by the colonial masters to suit their requirements. To suit their requirements. ठीक है? It was imported by the colonial masters to suit their requirements. Okay? Right. Hence, the state in post-colonial societies is overdeveloped. Hence, the state in post-colonial societies is overdeveloped. ठीक है? You have to understand what is overdeveloped. A state in post-colonial societies is overdeveloped. Okay. Now write, what does overdeveloped state denotes? What does overdeveloped state denotes? It is overdeveloped in what sense? Fine. So right. It denotes a state is overdeveloped